Howdy, I'm Sadie Mae with the Awesome Orange, and today I'm going to show you how I built this awesome floating deck. But first, we need to remove the hill that's currently in its location. It has a ton of river rocks on it, and we just need to get it out of the way and get this area flat and level. My helper. All right, let's get started. I want to give a big thank you to Simpson Strong Tie for sponsoring this project. Alright, the main reason I wanted a floating deck here is because I wasn't able to get anything to grow on this hill, even though we had drip irrigation throughout it. So we removed the rocks, started digging, and that wasn't going to work, so we rented a skid steer to help us remove the remaining dirt. Then we tried to get it as level as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect at this stage, and I'll show you why later. Then I set up some double stakes in each corner to get a rough layout of where the deck was going to go by pulling string between each of those. And then next you'll see that I do put a stake to signify each corner and remove these wooden stakes later. Then I'm kind of getting a visual here of where the deck blocks are going to go. I'm doing an inset deck block so you don't see them once we're all said and done. Then back to more digging. I'm digging out a little small trench here for two reasons. One, because I want the deck to sit lower, and two, I only want to level those spots where the deck blocks are going to go and not the whole area. So we put some paver base in those trenches, level that, and then we're going to put the deck blocks on top. So I'm starting in one corner, and I'm going to measure from that string line that I have to each side and get this in the exact spot that I want it. Again, the deck blocks are going to be inset from the edges, so there's going to be like a cantilever on the outside, like 8 inches to a foot on the four corners of the deck. Then from there we place the next ones one by one individually, making sure that they're level with one another all the way down. Then we move to the back corner and start with that one, getting that one perfectly set and level with the front row. And this is where it comes with a lot of tinkering, so a lot of back and forth, moving dirt, compacting dirt, checking for level, so on and so forth until you get all of the deck blocks in the right spot. And then it was time for framing. I set up a little workstation outside and using all of my battery-powered tools, and your first step is to cut off all the factory ends of this pressure-treated wood. This wood is pressure-treated and ground contact rated. When cutting, you do want to make sure that the board is supported on both sides so you don't get any pinching or binding on your circular saw. Alright, let's start screwing these together. For the outside frame, I'm going to be using Simpson Strong Tie's 3-inch deck drive wood screws. They have a quick guard coating, making them great for any outdoor projects. And unfortunately, I let my wood sit a little while, so it did dry out a little bit and get a little bit what I'm going to call wonky. So you're going to see me using a lot of these corner jigs with some clamps to get everything in place and retrain the wood back to where it needs to go. And these outside frame pieces are 2x8 pieces. So if the board is 8 inches tall or 7 1/4, that means we want to use 4 screws in each corner. One, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, next up I'm measuring for the inside piece. Since the outside frame is a 2x8, they're not going to be sitting on the deck blocks, but this inside piece is, and this is going to be made out of a 2x6. And again, we're doing all of this because we want to have that floating look and not be able to see the deck blocks when it's all said and done. So I mark the center where this is going to go, and then I'm going to screw this on using 3 of those same 3-inch Simpson Strong Tie screws. Next up, after the center was secure, I went ahead and attached these Simpson Strong Tie corner brackets. But what I didn't do is I didn't check this for square before doing this. So you'll see later on, I do end up having to take these off when I try to get everything square and in place. So I wouldn't recommend doing this at this stage. Okay, let's go ahead and set this frame into place on top of the deck blocks before it gets too heavy. All right, you'll notice some of those boards are still a little wonky that we're gonna have to fix when we attach the joists, and that this frame is only sitting on those middle deck supports. So we're gonna add some joists that's gonna move some of the weight to some of those other deck blocks and get everything linked together. So next up, we gotta start cutting those joists. Oh, and when working with pressure treated wood, always wear gloves because those splinters hurt. At this stage, I'm starting to think about square and all that kind of stuff with the deck, and I'm hoping that these joists are going to help me get this deck into square, because as you saw, the outside is a little wonky with those. So I get those installed using that same clamping method and those same screws that I was using before. Sometimes they need a little help to get into place, so a hammer is always good for that point. And then I'm going to check for square. The way I do that is I take a tape measure and measure from one corner to the other. And if that measurement going the opposite way is the same, then the deck is square. Mine wasn't, so here you see me removing those corner brackets that we put on earlier. And I'm going to try to put some more joists in on the corners and see if I can help get us square that way. All right, we've got 1, 2, 3 screws into each of those 2x6 joists, and then we are going to be adding a joist hanger from Simpson Strong Tie as well. The joist hangers are going to help with any downward pressure from standing on the deck that the other screws that we put in from the end won't over time, could fail. So these are going to help us that way. And when using any sort of bracket, you want to make sure that you have a screw or a piece of hardware for each hole, because that's what how they're rated for code-wise. All right, we got the 4 outside joists installed. Now we're checking for square again. And success. We have the same measurement from each corner to the other. So I proceed with adding more of the joists. And you'll see here I use my square to help me line those up, make sure that I'm driving them in straight. And then we're adding more of these joist hangers. I'm using screws, but you can use nails, or there's lots of different, a palm nailer to install these. Just depends on what's the easiest or what tools you have available to you. And I do end up checking it for square about 1,000,000 other times as I keep adding pieces just to make sure we're all good. Once we're good, I added those corner brackets back on. Then we go back to cutting the wood and installing more of the joists with more of the joist hangers. We do a lot of screwing. You'll notice here in the center where the joists are sitting on the deck block on both sides, I'm going to be toenailing screws in from one side into the other side instead of using the joist hangers. Square one last time, and then all the hardware goes on. Screw you, screw you, screw you, and screw you too. So many screws in this project. Alright guys, the frame is assembled, and now it's time to move on to our front step. So I'm cutting out a whole bunch of 7-inch strips, and I do wish I would have made these slightly longer. So I will have build plans available on my website, and that I will making this step a little bit bigger so you won't have to rip one of the deck boards later on down the road that you see me doing. But after I laid out where all these are going to go, I started installing those little pieces to a 2x6. So this is going to be the full front step. So So one by one, screwing, more screwing, more screwing. And you'll notice as I'm doing this, I'm using my speed square just to make sure that everything's lined up and that it doesn't get wonky. And once I have all of them attached, I'm putting on the other side of the step. I screwed in the two ends first, and then I'm using one of my clamps here to hold it in place and to make sure everything's lined up as I move down the board and screw the rest of the screws in. All right, let's test fit that front step. But before we install it, we need to add some weed barrier below it and add some paver base to make sure that it stays level for us. This step is going to be directly onto the paver base. Again, that's why we're using the pressure treated ground contact rated wood. We just secure that with some more screws, and then our framing is done. Well, since I put in all this hard work to frame this out, I want to make sure that this framing lasts as long as possible. So I'm adding some Seal butyl joist tape on top of it. What this tape is going to do is it's going to help divert the water when it does rain, and then it's going to seal any decking screws that are going to go into those joists once we add the decking later on. So super easy to apply, just peel and stick it all over the joists. All right, we're ready for decking, and I'm going to be using Trex decking in a color called Rocky Harbour. It does have these grooves to it, and to install the first board we need to attach these clips, and so then the board's going to slide into the clip, or the groove's going to go into the clip. And so then we attach the first one, and then we come back with these fasteners and attach them down on the other side. I'm using a scrap piece just to make sure that I align everything into place, and then one by one we're going to add each new board. A new clip goes on each joist. And you do only put them in halfway down, and then you slide in the next piece of decking, and then you go back and securely fasten them all the way down later on. So in halfway and then all the way down on that back one. And then just rinse and repeat. After that, happy dances with Oscar were much needed. Oh, but I did forget to tell you how to install the very last board. Since you can't use the Trex universal clips on that last board, I ended up toe nailing them, putting a screw diagonal through the groove and into the joist. Then it was time to attach decking to the stairs. I did need to rip my board, but if you do get the plans that are going to be available on my website, I do modify the dimensions slightly so you won't need to rip that board on your deck. Since we did rip it, there's no groove on that side to use the clips, so we're going to be using Starborn's Pro Plug system. Basically, it just puts in a recess for the screw at the perfect height, and then you go back and screw in a screw, and then they have plugs that match the decking exactly that you height them with. So everything, all the fasteners are going to be hidden on the deck. And there's always time for breaks and love for Oscar. Then for the second board, we're using those same clips that we used on the main portion of the deck. Securing those in, adding that outside board. The outside board should be flush with that front deck, and then we toe nail it like we did the end board on the other side. And tighten everything down. And we have a stair. Then from here, we just need to clean up the edges, so I threw a chalk line and just cut it with my circular saw. I trimmed up some fascia board for the front steps, and then to install the fascia board on the outside sides where we had those wonky boards, I did end up needing to shim them, which Oscar does not like it when I use the nailer, so he needed some love and attention right now. Shimming it is just going to make sure that the board sits flush or as close as flush as we can get this board to the outside. And the fascia board's also going to be covering all the end pieces of the decking on the top. Then we're going to use that same Pro Plug system like we did on the front step, recess those in, and then we're going to be hiding the hardware later on. A little bit of touch-up paint. On the front here, I could have spent more money and bought a bigger board, but I ended up thinking that the landscape was going to cover it and we'd be fine. And again, those plugs to hide all of our screw holes. And then we have a brand new floating deck. I am so stoked on how this came out. I hope this tutorial was helpful, and if you do end up building a floating deck, just know you can do it. It's a lot of hard work, and hopefully you can find somebody to help you out with it. But the results are totally worth it. Again, thank you to Simpson Strong Tie for sponsoring this project. I got some more landscape work to do, but I'm definitely enjoying this deck already with Oscar. If you like this video, be sure to like it and subscribe to my channel for more awesome builds. All right, guys, thanks for watching. And remember, build loud, build wild, and have an awesome day.